What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in the building. Let's get a little tunes up here. You know, I kind of play the same tunes, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I like that music. It's easy, smooth listening. Feel me? I like that music. Anyway, I'm going to jump on here right quick before I make some moves, but I'm basically going to talk about Jerry Jones just basically came out, and we'll just show it. Let's get it right here. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to jump right into it right now. Now you done heard that Tony Pollard will most likely get the franchise tag. You can see it on my Twitter. Kind of blurry to me, but you might be able to see it good. But it's showing here that Tony Pollard, they have until March 7th to get a deal, March 7th or 9th, one of those two dates, to get a deal done with Tony Pollard, or they're going to franchise tag him. Just already assume he's getting tagged, right? No surprise, okay? No surprise. We have been talking about on the Final Word, other shows. I said I didn't want that. I didn't want them to just tag him and have $10 million on 1 year and you can't move the money anywhere else. Because, see, here's the thing. By you tagging Tony Pollard, right, because they already said there's rumblings how they can't get a deal done with LVE and Donovan Wilson. Now, first of all, I said Donovan Wilson was going to be gone. But when I looked at Sport Rack, or the name, whatever the name is, and they were talking about his possible numbers, those numbers were very reasonable. And I was like, okay, you know what? You could probably get Donovan Wilson back. But not if you're keeping Pollard and Zeke. Right? So now we hear about the negotiations with Pollard and with LVE and Donovan Wilson. They're at an impasse. And we also seen where Jerry Jones said that, I like that Tyler Scott kid, just, from Cincinnati. But then we also know what Jerry Jones, when he said, I don't know about Dalton Schultz. We got to look at some things. Dalton Schultz gone. Okay. We got Jake Ferguson and we got Hendershot. So he's gone. Donovan Wilson, we still got Malik Hooker and we got J-Ron Curse. They're not going to sign up for Donovan Wilson, especially if you bring him back Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, right? Because it says the Cowboys will franchise Tony Pollard if the two sides can't work out a long-term agreement by Tuesday. Then you know damn well they ain't working out no agreement. So we already knew he was getting the tag, right? I love Pollard, but I'd rather him have a deal because I feel like it's only going to be a 1-year rental and he's going to be gone. But I'll tell you why I think they're making this move the way they are. So if I scroll up a little more, and I said, and there it is. Jerry Jones still very much wants Ezekiel Elliott to remain a Dallas Cowboy. He believes they can make it work financially to keep Pollard and Elliott. Well, there it is. So, in my opinion, it's Pollard and Zeke in the backfield again, right? Y'all know how I feel about it. I'm not going to go over it again because I've already said my feelings about it. But I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be crying about it. I'm not going to be jumping up and doing, oh, I can't believe they're doing this, because I know how Dallas works. I know they were going to do this. You feel me? Like, this ain't no surprise. If you're a deep Dallas Cowboys fan and been a Cowboys fan for a very long time, this ain't no surprise to you, okay? They don't want to move away because they like that structure. And I feel like they're a little scary, too, because they don't want to let both of those guys go, being the unknown and drafting unknown players, okay? That's what I feel. And I also feel that now that Kellen Moore is gone, I feel like Mike McCarthy and the Joneses were kind of like, all right, let me work with Pollard. Let me work with Zeke. And let's see what we can do with Dak. You feel me? So I think that's one of the reasons why the dynamic is coming back, because Mike McCarthy didn't coach it. Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator for them 3 years. And you heard my video with Mike McCarthy, how he was dissing him. He was. And he was talking about how he wants to run the ball. He wants to run the damn ball. He said it. I want to run the damn ball. I want to keep my defense fresh. I want to keep my defense off the field. And I don't want to be pass happy, going in empty sets, exposing my quarterback, doing all this and that. I don't want to do that. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Go watch my video. That's what he said. So if that's the case, and he said he wants to run the damn ball, in my head, what sense is it going to make for them to cut both of them, or don't re-sign Pollard, get rid of Ezekiel Elliott? Now you got money, but you don't know what to do with it because y'all not really good players in the free agency field. Y'all don't wheel and deal in free agency. Y'all don't make moves in free agency. Y'all don't get y'all hands dirty like these other teams. Y'all kind of do it the safer way. So the safer way to be like, well, we already got two running backs that we really like, so let's just go ahead and bring them back and let's roll with it. That's where I feel like it's coming from. And also, I feel like it's coming from McCarthy when he says, I just want to run the ball. Well, do you think McCarthy wants to go with rookies? If you release both of those guys, if you don't re-sign Pollard and you release Ezekiel Elliott and he says he wants to run the damn ball, it's just preluding to the setup of the 1-2 combo coming back again. Okay, it is what it is. I've already accepted it, so I'm not mad. I'm not going to be mad. I've already accepted what it was and what it is now. And plus, like I said, I believe Mike McCarthy didn't have his hands on it like Kellen Moore had it in 3 years. Now this is Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Now this is Brian Schottenheimer, who is a running back guy, right? So if he's a running back guy, I mean, it just makes sense for them to bring them both back. Your 1-year rental with Pollard. I said this last year that as soon as they signed DeMarcus Lawrence to that deal, that they were going to do Ezekiel Elliott the same way. I made a tweet right after that when they gave DeMarcus Lawrence that 3-year deal, and so he could stay and give up the signing bonus, manipulate it. Okay, yep, they're doing that with Zeke. And so here's where I see it happening right now, right in front of my face. So there it is. So you got Tony Pollard and you got Ezekiel Elliott. Most likely they're coming back, right? And Mike McCarthy said he wants to run the ball. So he wants to go with familiarity. He don't want to start with nothing new. I'm trying to get a championship, so why I'm going to start over with rookies and go through the growing pains? Let's go with people we already know and let's try to get a chip. That's my thinking from them, right? So I'm going to scroll up and say this right here, though. If you keeping Pollard and Zeke, which we all know you would, go get this dude. And this is my guy I've been talking about when we've been speaking on running backs. I like the Sean Tucker, but when I saw Devon Achane, I said Cowboys get him, right? Bobby Belt said Devon Achane had a formal meeting with the Cowboys. Achane averaged 4 yards after contact per attempt. Y'all seen the video. Go watch my video just ahead of Bijan Robinson. And to me, this makes sense. If you got Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, then you need to draft Devon Achane. That needs to happen. Now, also, when we're talking about Dak Prescott, let me pull this up right quick. I'll pause this right quick, and then I'm going to pull this up. And this is about Dak Prescott right quick. So I feel like this is the all-in right here.
On the field,
here you go, Jerry Jones.
I see something on the field that would logically tell you need to start looking ahead, i.e. past that. I don't see that kind of thing happening in the next years. And I say years.
All right, so you hear that, right? So now you heard that. That tells me they're going to go ahead and extend Dak. So that'll be the money that, and they'll restructure Tyron Smith. They're trying to keep the whole daggone team together. Let's just keep it real. They're keeping the whole damn team together because they probably felt that they were right there. You still could have won, and you start with Mike McCarthy, and I don't believe they want to start fresh. You got a team that you already got in place, and I don't feel like they want to start over with it, and they just want to keep everything the way it is and proceed and go with Mike McCarthy and see what he can do with it. Because you had your opportunity with Kellen Moore in them 3 years, and you had great offenses, but you ain't win nothing. So Mike McCarthy's putting, okay, it's my turn now. Let me do this. But if I'm going to do this, I need the same people back. And I feel like that's been the conversation if you keep it real. Now, here's also, let's pull this up right quick, because this is also where I feel where OBJ comes into play. When we're hearing about the Dallas Cowboys doing something big. Now, remember, let's pull this up. I said, OBJ, come on down. You the next contestant on The Price is Right. Jerry Jones said young talent will be the key to the team's success in 2023, right? They're pretty young. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. But caution not to rule out signing a prominent veteran in free agency if the team believes he can be a difference. Would make the move in a New York minute, right? So when we hear about something big coming up or a big signing, this is where I feel like it is. Now, Bobby Wagner just got released, but they didn't offer Bobby Wagner. They didn't come at Bobby Wagner. You feel me? When Bobby Wagner, when the flirtation, it wasn't no really serious thing to me about Bobby Wagner, in my opinion. Okay, it wasn't serious. Now, I really believe the OBJ thing was really serious. I feel like they really were going to sign him, but they didn't like those medicals on the knee, or the knee wasn't 100% rehab. And then I believe OBJ said, Odell Beckham Jr. said himself that he wasn't really trying to sign with nobody until he was 100%. Kevin Gray, shout out to him. He had a video posting where OBJ doing his cuts and his video and his move and all that good stuff, right? So I feel like the big move is right there. Because here's why I say this is the big move to Dallas. We were excited last year. I was excited. I can't front. I was excited. I love DJ Chark. But, OBJ, he's still a very good player. I can't front. He's only 30 years old. And if he comes back 100%, I know he had a couple knee surgeries. But if he comes back fully healthy, it just makes sense in their minds that this will be the big signing, because that was going to be the big signing last year, right? Can't nobody say it wasn't. That was going to be the big signing last year, getting OBJ in the middle of the season and go try to make a playoff run. It did not happen. I feel like this is the big signing. I know Jalen Ramsey's been floated around. Bernard Hopkins. Hopkins over there and with the Cardinals. But I don't feel that way. I don't feel like Hopkins is as big as Odell Beckham Jr. to them because of the flirtation. I just feel like Odell Beckham and Jerry, I feel like they just got a connection. You feel me? I just feel like it's more of a connection. We ain't heard nothing about no Hopkins, but we heard about OBJ. He was in the building. They were courting him. They were trying to make it happen, and it didn't. Now, when you hear it now, if you're keeping Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, and CeeDee Lamb says, man, we just need one more dog. We just might need that one player to get us over the hump. You know what I'm saying? Look at Philly or look at these other teams. They're making these moves. We might need to make one more move. Why wouldn't that be the move? You got CeeDee Lamb, who turned up, who you possibly going to be re-signing. He turned up, had a damn near career year, right? You got Michael Gallup coming back the second year off the ACL. You got Jalen Tolbert, right? You're going to draft a receiver. You're going to draft one. But now if you got CeeDee Lamb, OBJ, Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert, and you draft a receiver, don't tell me they don't feel good. Yeah, they do. They feel real good. So to me, in my opinion, I'm not the insider, but this, me, smells like OBJ. Could be Jalen Ramsey, but I just feel like the defense is good already. It was already damn good, and they can sprinkle and add. But you needed help on offense. They needed a second receiver. It's been known. So what do you think that the Cowboys are going to do? If you're already bringing all these veterans back, you think they're going to go with the rookie opposite of CeeDee Lamb? And they already seen what just happened with Jalen Tolbert, how they banked on him and he did nothing? No, they're going to go with something established. that's the way they do it. They go with established. Now, they like the young players, but they want to get, if they're trying to make this run, to me, OBJ makes the most sense. Okay? It just does. It just makes the most sense. Now, shout out to Patrick No C Walker, my guy. He retweeted this as well about Devon Chain. But we're going to look at right here. As I scroll down here. Scroll down. This is who the Cowboys have talked to or met with, right? And you can look at this list right here. We talked about BJ Ojolari. We like him. Derek Hall turned up. Keep an eye on that DeMarvin Overshown. Dante Stills. Keep an eye on him. I don't think they mess with a tight end because they got 3. They still got your boy, what's his name? Tight end from Michigan. McEwen. And then you got Hendershot and Ferguson. I just feel like they're going that route. But maybe they get a blocking tight end. I don't know. Now, receivers. Receivers are confirmed that Cowboys have interest in him. Jackson Smith. That's a CeeDee Lamb clone to me. Jalen Hyatt, they need that speed. Zay Flowers, I don't think they touch that because if you get an OBJ and you got Gallup and Tolbert, I don't think they go with Flowers. Jalen Hyatt, to me, or Tyler Scott from Cincinnati, make the most sense as the receiver that the Cowboys should draft now. If you get OBJ and you got CeeDee Lamb and you got Michael Gallup and you got Jalen Tolbert, why wouldn't you get a Jalen Tolbert or a Tyler Scott who gives you speed? It just makes sense what they're talking about, right? It just makes sense. And then when we go to the quarterbacks that they looked at, I guess they like Max Duggan. They said, they were feeling good about the meeting with him. But I like Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. I'm going to keep it real. I'd rather him over Max Duggan. Just me. Max Duggan gives me Andy Dalton vibes. I'm sorry. He just does. I'm not hating, but he just gives me Andy Dalton vibes. And I just feel like Hendon Hooker goes perfect to what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. And I just feel like that would be a better fit. And plus, he's coming off injury. He's going to drop probably, right? So he can fall in Dallas's lap. So I just feel like that is the most sensible way it's going to go. You know what I mean? So, in kind of closing, because I ain't going to stay here all day, those are my thoughts. Cowboys are going to keep who they're going to keep. They're probably going to re-sign Tyron Smith, right? Figure out a way to keep him in the lineup. You need to bring Terrence Steele back, right? You're going to bring both your running backs who you had, Pollard and Zeke. Draft Devon Chain as your running back. You can get a linebacker. Them corners were going crazy today. My dog, Deontay Banks, went crazy, but you can get a corner, right? You can get a corner. You can get an edge. You can get a linebacker. You can, if you add OBJ, less pressure for you to get that receiver in the first round, and then I feel like they go BPA at 26. If they bring in OBJ, if that's their something big, you go with BPA at 26 now. But you definitely should get Devon Chain, especially if he's available after round 1. Get that dude, and then get a Jalen Hyatt if it works like that, or that Tyler Scott because he's more slept on. That speed is crazy. You draft an edge, you draft a tackle. You get a linebacker. You still got Devin Harper you didn't see. You still got Jabril Cox. You got Damone Clark. If you ain't bringing back LVE, you still got Michael Parsons. You can draft a guy, right? So that just seems like the plan to me, in my opinion. That seems like the Cowboys' plan, in my opinion, of how they're going to do it. The Cowboys' way. So like I said, I ain't going to be angry. I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm just going to see what happens. But that's my thoughts on how the Cowboys are going to do it in 2023. Let me know what you think about the video. Give me some comments. Go ahead, make sure you hit that like button. Share it around all the nation. And I'll holler at you soon. Big Game James.